So, I have to tell you something very important, and it might be triggering for some people. And I might get emotional telling you this story, but it's very important that if you found this message and you are someone who is being asked to move somewhere or to go someplace, and you consider yourself an activist or a healer or someone who fights for justice and advocates for peace, advocates for people who can't advocate for themselves, or just advocates because you should advocate, I want to tell you that you are being asked to go different places because you are going to be acting as a literal guardian for other people and animals. And your gifts, your clair gifts, your intuition need to be high enough so you can get to these places and get to these people, get to these energies who need help. And for example, my clairs have always been developed, and for some reason, no matter where I go, I live next to a church. Even if I try to outrun it, if I lose a cross, it comes back. Someone gives me a rosary. My neighbor is literally a pastor. I met a pastor last week. I keep meeting pastors, and it's just like one thing after another. Someone started talking to me about going to church, and I said, I feel like this energy is coming. I don't know why. Everywhere I would go when I would travel, I also ended up at every hotel that was on Martin Luther King Boulevard, next to some sort of church. And I said, okay, if you want me to go, then show me which one. One popped up on my phone, and I decided to go today. And all of the visions that I had about spirit, ancestors, guides helping me, what was blocked in my own life, they talked about verbatim. And not only that, I was out in, it wasn't even an area I'm familiar with, which would happen all of last year. I was going all through the Bible Belt, helping people who were houseless. And after church, I had got this inkling that I needed to go to a grocery outlet. And I said, why do you want me to go to a grocery outlet? They said, just go to a grocery outlet. And so I said, okay, tell me which one. I went there. And at first I didn't want to get out of the car because it was literally in the middle of nowhere. There were white folks everywhere. And to me, that's like danger zone 101 for someone like myself. And they said, you're not going to be here long, just get out. So I got out of the car. I start walking in, and immediately I hear this woman scream so loud, and then realize that the person that they were with was putting their hands on them. And so I immediately went into my protective mode, got all the information I needed, and it happened so fast. And then I just hear through my clairaudience, you need to protect them. And they were like, that's why we brought you out here. And then immediately I broke down into tears, because our gifts are so powerful, but people think that they're just for manifesting money, manifesting opportunities. But when you tap in, you can literally save people's lives with these gifts all the time. I do it all the time, and I don't even know I'm doing it half the time unless they literally say something. I just happen to be at the right place at the right time. And Then I started getting visions about when I was younger, and I was living with my mom and my sisters, and I got this inkling that I needed to press this blue button on the alarm system. And so I ended up pressing it, and then the cops came. And so I learned that that button meant help, like cops, or it would make all this screaming noise. And I was like, my mom was asking, why did you press it? I was like, I don't know. I felt like I needed to press it. Like, it's just something in me. And later that week, someone from my family ended up busting down the door, putting their hands on my mom and my sister. And I immediately knew that I needed to press the blue button because that meant help. And so it was just another reminder of things happen in our lives that we're not going to understand. We're never going to understand them. But all we need to know is that if you are being called to help, you need to help fully, wholeheartedly, no matter what that looks like. And you don't need to worry about the money because the money always shows up. And I was celebrating an accomplishment, and I had turned to my family and I told them, wrong idea, by the way. And I had told them my accomplishment, and they start talking about, but is it money? Like all these things. And I was like, I am of service. I'm not here to make money, and the money is always there when I need it. And it's that type of thinking that keeps people in these cycles of greed, of not helping each other, of fear, of taking from folks who already don't have enough, and that keep people on the street who need help. And so I tell you all of this so that you know that, one, if you surrender to whatever path you're being called on, no matter what it is, even if you're a musician, an activist, a healer, whatever it is, there's a bigger purpose for you to be doing it. And it's not just for yourself. And you have to meditate. You have to listen to your intuition, because sometimes people's lives depend on it, fully depend on it. And you're going to go through these trials of like, are you going to surrender? Are you going to let go? Are you going to remove yourself from everybody in your life so you can hear spirit and the ancestors and creator, source, universe, like whatever you say? Are you going to actually take the leap, or are you going to allow all of these other emotions to keep you from the rest of the world who need you? So many people have always told me, it's going to take you forever on YouTube to blah, 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 blah. And then overnight, because I cut away everything, overnight, things started to get better. And then overnight, I was able to go out and start helping the community again, because I just gave up everything, every single person, wiped my phone, got rid of almost all my clothes. Like, if you're on my page, I literally have the smallest amount of clothes, and I don't care, because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to be there at this store when that person needed help. Like, you don't understand what you are being called to do. It's so much bigger than yourself. And if you need help, like if you are fearful of what's going to happen, but you need guidance, just message me. Come on Thursday. I'm going to be opening up more classes, because that's what I'm being asked to do, because we can't do this alone. The Congo can't do it alone. Like, Palestine, they can't do it alone. So know that you are protected, like to the point where you might even be living by churches. You can't even outrun it. Like, you just are. And someone today from the ancestors reminded me, you need to not say that your name is Z anymore. And so my name is Ngozi Okachi, and it means a gift from God, and I never share it with people, but here we are today, accepting our new paths. So I'm sending you love. Come join.